Hey guys, this is Danny, Expediting Land host, segment Hometown Tour. We're still at Robert Craven's house, and up close here. This is, again, the east side of Robert Craven's house. These are the two cannons that were positioned firing at field artillery units, Confederate firing at this position. On the far side, if you see that little cabin in the far back, that's where the Union soldiers were coming in. They were coming in all angles, okay? Up close here is the two cannons positioned to defend this area. This is really cool stuff, man. This is the Georgia Battery Infantry Division. Pretty cool stuff, man. Howell's Georgia Battery, in charge of Major Robert Martin's Artillery Battalion. For you guys don't know that, what a battalion is, I'm an Army vet. It consists of maybe 1,000 up to 8,000 soldiers. Back then it's probably a little bit less. But it reads, Order of Captain Howell, Commanding Battery of the Georgia Battery, in position on this ground November 16th. So that's 8 days before the battle took place. 1863, the horses returned to the foot of the mountain where the Northern Union armies were positioned. During the engagement of the 24th, the men were in their places ready for action. Georgia Battery field artillery, so you can imagine this cannon and this cannon. These cannons were very powerful, okay? Make no mistake, these were the hosses, the big hosses of the time back then. And this is, again, this is the New York Monument. And continue reading. They were not able to fire at Watwell's brigade, which is the New York Regiment, was engaged with the enemy in advance of the guns. So, this is the New York using infantry, but they were caught by surprise by this Georgia Battery Field Artillery Unit battalion. They had these two cannons. So, pursued by the enemy, while coming uphill in overwhelming numbers and no possibility of removing the guns or repulsing the enemy, the men were marched off, leaving the guns casualties. So pretty much this cannon and this cannon, these two cannons of the Georgia Battery Field Artillery units, were captured by the New York Regiment, Union Army. This is something else. That up there is the statue of the commanding officer. You come down here to New York. This is the New York Union Regiment. 60th New York Infantry, 78th New York, 102nd, 137th, and 149th. So that's 5 different infantry units. Okay. Isn't that something? Yep. This particular monument was erected in 1898 by the state of New York. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff, guys. Here are the casualties of this particular unit. 60th New York wounded 4 officers. The 102nd, these are the commanding officers of the units I just read. 102nd, 1 officer. 137th, 1 officer. 149th New York, 1 officer. 7 officers, a total loss of 121. Now, the enlisted men, as you can see up there, the 160th unit is 5 killed, 102nd, 24th, 137th, 4 of them. The largest casualty unit was the 137th, consisted of 17 casualties. The officers killed, their names were Major Elliott, 102nd, Lieutenant Owen, 137th, and the officers wounded who survived after the war, thankfully on both sides, and just bless them all. This is just a sad event, but it's history needed for a country to understand how far we've come. Bottom line, 47 officers were injured and 728 infantry enlisted men. Now,